Okay, we are recording. Great. Once again, welcome from all around the world. To be honest, this was just actually a request of Annalicia from UK because she does a lot of home meetings, home parties for her team, and she heard that I used to do a lot of them. To be exact, over 500 home parties within 2 years when I was a distributor. And she just wanted to have some tips and tricks, what to do, what not to do. How I had, was able to organize so many home parties. And that's why I said, okay, you know what? When I'm going to give this information out, why just one team? Let's give it out to everyone so that you guys can use this information and, actually use it in your team and make sure that everyone is aware. Okay. So let's get started. First of all, we are branding this as J Party. Now, J Party, like I said, the party in this sense is nothing more than a home presentation, okay? And what I just want to point out to you guys, first of all, is this. Now, in this industry, in direct selling industry, we do like over $200 billion of revenue. 200 billion. Actually, this industry is bigger than than the music and Hollywood together. Okay, so huge industry, $2 billion revenue. Now, interesting to know is that 70% of this $2 billion is made in home parties, like in the living rooms. You might not think that, especially when you're new. You might think that, hey, this is done in one-on-ones. This is done in, I don't know, maybe bigger events. That's what you might think, but that's just not the case. The statistics say that 70% of this volume of this revenue is done in the living rooms. Now, there are some reasons for that. Obviously, if you are meeting a business person, yeah, let's say you're meeting a business person. This guy has, a couple of businesses, and he's very open to get to know Jeunesse, or maybe the person has already experience in the direct selling industry. Of course, it makes sense to meet this person in, one-on-one. It makes sense to bring this person together with with your upline. It makes sense maybe to invite this person to a nice hotel lobby and to talk about business, right? Because maybe you don't know the person very well. Now, what I'm doing right now, what I'm explaining to you guys right now is the roots of network marketing, the roots of direct selling, which is the way this business, was invented. When the first person came up with this business 100 years ago, this was the idea of the direct selling, which is, hey, me using some kind of products, which I'm very, very excited about, and getting the information out to people that I know. Now, who are the people that you know? The people that you know are your family, your friends, your neighbors, people that you see on a daily basis. That is network marketing. Now, nowadays, it's very important, for example, to work on social media. Get connected with the world, get connected with people that you don't know. But if you don't know someone, you're probably not going to invite that person to your home for a presentation. So what I'm talking about here is not a new strategy. This is not a replacement of whatever your upline is teaching you. This is very important for everyone to understand. So what we are doing now is just giving you guys an additional tool. If you are not doing this already, giving you guys an additional tool to use, as soon as people get started in this industry in your team, which works pretty well. And I'm going to explain to you guys why it works well. Now, first of all, if you sign someone up, it's very easy for that person to right away invite 5 to 10 people who the person knows. Let's say that's a person that doesn't have any experience in this, in this industry, to invite 5 to 10 people to her or to his living room. Okay. Now, obviously, for you as an upline, is your job to not let that person do it on his own, right? You just, as soon as you sign them up, you sit down with them, you just call the people up, you help out, and the only thing that the person does is invite these people to his or to her home. That's all, okay? Not explaining the products on the phone, not explaining the business on the phone, nothing. This is just, that's a reason why we call it party, is because when you have a party, like real party, like let's say you have a, I don't know, birthday party, you don't call people and explain them, you know, it's my birthday today, I'm gonna be at home, I'm gonna invite some people, and here's what I've been preparing. We have Diet Coke, we have water, we have food, we have this and we have that. You don't go through these details, right? You just call the person and you just invite them to the party. That's just the most normal thing that you can do, okay? Now, when it comes to inviting people, and this is, guys, tonight is going to be a quick recap of the, let's say, bird perspective, how to do it. If you guys want, we can dive into more details on the next webinars, how to invite people to such parties, because that's a different story than just calling someone and inviting them to see a business presentation. We can do that for sure, but now I just want to give you guys a bird perspective, how to invite people and how to, you know, go through these through the steps. All right, so there are some things that you need to be aware of. There are some things that you need to prepare before you. Let's say you have your own party, and by the way, all the leaders on this call, and I'm sure most of you guys have already a team, this is not something you ask your team to do. This is something you do first, and you invite your team to that place to see how you do it. Leading by example, don't forget that. This is something you do first, and after you've done it, you can then go out and ask your team to do the same thing, okay? This is very important. Now, there is a checklist. I'm gonna go through some very important points that you guys need to prepare before you go do the party. So I'm gonna show you guys the checklist, and then what I'm gonna show you is exactly how to like do the actual party, okay? Let's see the first one. Guys, it's a party, and the number one thing you need at the party is what? Is music, right? And with music, what I mean here is not like loud where you cannot hear the other person music. I'm just talking about creating a friendly and good atmosphere, okay? Just something upbeat. No Mozart, no Beethoven, nothing sad. It needs to be something energetic, like upbeat, so that when people come in, they feel well. Does it make sense? So having music just not so loud so that people can hear it, but still not so loud. And then you invite the people. And by the way, what I forgot to mention, you need to do you at your party. So it's very important that you don't, like, if you do a party for people that know you, you should look exactly the same as you always do. For example, if they, know you as the person that is walking around naked all the time at home, please open the door up naked. So don't change it. Like, don't suit up. Don't change yourself. Just do you, because you want to make sure that people feel normal when you open the door when they come in. Okay, so music is very important. That creates a very good atmosphere. Like I said, it's very important to have the right music, which is just an upbeat, energetic music. Okay, that's number one. Let's see what number two says. Very important. I love children. I don't have children, but I do love children, and I love pets. I love cats. I love dogs. But when I'm doing a J party, I have to remove them from home, or if you have the chance, just put them in another room. Make sure that children and pets are not there. It's a fun thing to do to organize a J party, but it's very important that you understand that this is your business. And people, although it's very fun, people still need to understand that this is your business, and you're taking it seriously. So if you have children or pets around, people will start to talk about their children. They will talk about their pet. Oh, my dog eats this and does that, and my child does this and does that. And that creates distraction. That creates discussions, and you don't want to waste time. Okay, so children and pets, if possible, have them whether out of the house or at least in a separate room. And I'm going to talk to you guys in a couple of minutes about how long a party should be. That's not so long, as long as you as long as you think. Okay, so no children, no pets. Do yourselves a favor. Next point is product samples. Guys, in order to, we are a product-based company. You are promoting Jeunesse products. And how unprofessional does it look if you don't have products when you're presenting the products? Does it make sense? So you need to make sure you have products on site. We have amazing products which you can sample. Let's say you have 5 people coming in. You have to have reserve samples. For example, if you're talking about reserve, you can have the easiest thing that I can, easiest thing and the most, something that people really like and which is easy for you and it doesn't cost much, is to prepare Zenfuse shakes. Make sure you have a good blender. Make sure you do your Zen shake with ice. You put some ice in it. It's cold and fresh. And you prepare Zen shakes to give people just to try. If you love reserve, make sure you have reserve to sample, to give away 1 each. If you love Zen Fit, make sure you have Zen Fit. If you love the Luminous line, make sure you have the Luminous line there to give people to try, to smell, to try, and for example, if you love to work with Instantly Ageless, for sure you have to have Instantly Ageless to try it on people so that they say that they see it works within 2 minutes. So having products ready is great. And one very important tip, please listen carefully. Do not put all the products in a corner, very beautiful with lights on them and stuff like that. Do not do that. Because as soon as people come in, they will go oh, okay, this is a sales presentation. I shouldn't be here. You understand what I mean? Always you have to think about, people have to feel good. They have to feel the way they usually feel when they step in your room. So there shouldn't be no difference. You have to have some products on the table, but not too much. Don't make it like hey guys, welcome to my sales pitch. Does it make sense? So don't do towers of products and banners and not at all. Please don't do that. You want to make sure they feel welcome, they feel fuzzy, they feel warm, and they don't have the feeling, oh, this person is about to sell me something, okay? Product samples, very important. Tip number 4, you have to have your upline with you. Let me repeat, you have to have your upline with you. If your upline is not there in person, you have to have your upline with you via Skype or Zoom. Have your upline join the meeting with you. Why is that? Number 1, because that's the third person. Let's say I just started in this business, okay? And I'm inviting my cousin. My cousin knows me for as long as I exist on this earth, all right? And I've been doing, let's say, some other stuff. I've been working at the office, and all of a sudden I started my own business. My cousin will not take me very serious. He will go what are you talking about? You're a office worker, or you do this and that. He will not take me serious in terms of you know, this is a huge business, this can change your life. That's the reason you need a third person. And this third person preferably should be on site in your living room. If not, he or she should be on Skype, on Zoom, in the room. And I'm gonna, in a few minutes, I'm gonna talk about what the person is going to do, okay? And by the way, you guys are the uplines if you are organizing J parties for your team. Does it make sense? So if you are doing it yourself, you need to have one of your uplines there. If you are organizing it for your team, you have to be there as your upline, as the upline. And like I said, doesn't matter if you have, let's say if you're Sapphire, you can ask your Sapphire Elite upline. If he's not available or she's not available, you can ask the Ruby upline. If he's not available, you can ask the next Emerald. If not, you can ask the next Diamond, okay? If nothing works, you can just ask someone who is working with you, maybe someone from Crossline. Hey, same team, you help me, I help you. You just be there in the meeting, and you just give your testimony how great these products are, how great our business is. That's it, okay? So if you don't have, I mean, for God's sakes, I've done just 1 second, guys. Okay, I've done the home parties where I had my downline joining on Zoom to give testimonies, okay? So we're gonna be done in 10 minutes. So having upline is very important. Having a laptop and TV ready is very important. Why? To show the videos, the presentation, whatever you do, and obviously to have your upline involved in the whole thing. And then the next thing is, and the last thing, product testimonies, which comes from the upline. Now, the product testimony part doesn't have to only come from the upline. You can also have, let's say you have a customer or you have a distributor who has an amazing product testimony. You can invite that person also to your party just to sit there. His or her role is just to talk about the products, just tell her or his story as soon as you ask them to do that. Make sense? All right. So here's how you do it. Here's the list one more time. If you want to take a screenshot or just write them down, this is the list. So you invite people with your new person, and I suggest to do the invitation part together. Like you can come together with your downlines, with your uplines in a room and start to call people. Very important thing is to set up the next 2-3 J party dates already in your calendar now. Like tonight, put the dates in first, and then from tomorrow, start to invite people to those parties. Very important tip, as I said at the beginning, do not explain too much on the phone. Your job on the phone is to invite people. Hey, this is Nader. How are you doing? I was just thinking about you. Do you have time tomorrow night, 7 p.m. to be at my place? I want to show you something. It's very important. I just started the business. I just want to have your opinion about the business. Or even, do you have time tomorrow night after dinner? I'm going to serve some shakes. I'm going to serve some dessert. Let's call it dessert, for God's sakes. Who cares? You're going to give them something delicious, all right? So the only intention is to invite people. And here comes the most important tip of all of our webinar tonight, which is you need to set your alarm ready. Let me just go back here. Here you go. When you start your party, your J party, you need to set your alarm on 45 minutes. After 45 minutes, you have to be done. Number one, because you have to make sure you don't talk too much and you don't create too much, you don't give people too much time to ask, questions which are just doesn't have anything to do with this. So 45 minutes. Everything you do more than 45 minutes will make sure that everything goes wrong. You can believe me that. So 45 minutes is the absolute max. You have to be done by 45 minutes. Now, so people come in, and here's how you do it. People come into the room. Immediately at the beginning, you give them some products. Like I said, I prefer ZenFuse. If you don't have Zen in your markets, you give them Reserve. If you don't have Reserve, you can give them ZenFit, just small caps. It doesn't matter. Just give them some products in the hand so that they know, hey, this is great. We're going to expect people always want to see something new or try something new. Okay, that's the first thing you do. They sit down, a little bit small talk, not too much. Get straight to the point and tell them, hey, I just have 45 minutes. Thank you very much for coming. After 45 minutes, the next round is coming, or I have to go somewhere, something like that, so that they don't sit for longer than 45 minutes. And then you start to explain the products. Whatever products is your preference, you explain that products, you let them try it. If it is Lumines, you just let them test the products. You talk about your experience. Your explanation should be 80% your experience with the product and 20% science. 80% experience, 20% science. People might ask very specific questions. It's important not to go through all the answers, because that will just create more questions and more questions. The best thing to do is, hey, I am not a product expert, but I'm sure I can get someone on the call the next time who can answer this question. Hey, I am not the right one to answer this question, but I'm sure that I can get someone for you to answer this question. This is you don't have to be ashamed to tell someone that you don't know the answer. That's just straight. You want to come to the point, and you just don't want to get in discussions. So they sit down, you go through the products, and then you let them try the products. And after that, you just say, hey, listen, guys, there is also a business opportunity behind this whole thing. Is anyone interested to hear that? Are you guys interested to hear that? Check that out first before you go into the business part and start to talk about, compensation plan, stuff like that. Make sure you ask them if they're interested or not. Maybe they're just not interested. Maybe they just like the product and they just want to buy the product. Then leave it by that. Don't explain the business. But if they say, yes, we're interested, then you go ahead and do the business presentation part. By the way, it might be you have, like, let's say 3 people sitting, and 2 of them want to hear about the business, and the one person doesn't want to. You just ask the person very kindly, okay, do you want to try the products? You can buy them from me right now, or I can sign you up in the system. You can get preferred price. What do you want? Give them these 2 options, and then make sure that the person gets a product, and then make sure the person leaves because he or she doesn't want to know anything about the business. And then you go and work with these 2 guys. And there's also a psychological thing behind it, because the person that's leaving, he or she is thinking, oh, I might miss something here. So next time I'm going to make sure I listen to the business part as well. Does it make sense? So make sure you lead the party. You lead the party. If there is someone negative, this is your business. This is something you're investing your time in, and the time is everything. If someone is very negative in the rounds, you can kindly ask the person to leave. I had huge problems doing that at the beginning when I started, but with the time, I learned that when you do that, the other people will go like, wow, this person is serious. He's just literally a very kind way asking the person to leave who is negative. So this person is really serious about the business. Anyways, you try the products, let them try the products, and then ask if he's interested into business. If yes, you go through the business part, and then at all points, your upline is hopefully sitting there, or is it on Zoom or Skype, and you can ask the person about opinion or testimonies, and the person, your upline, can anytime jump in and fill it out, okay? And then after that, you should be done. After that, you ask them, hey, what is the outcome? Do you want to start the business, or you just want to use the products? Guys, this was it for tonight. I just wanted to test it out and see if you guys like it, like this information. If that is the